Emily Dickinson was an American poet. She was born in 1830 and died in 1886. In her brief lifespan of about 56 years, she wrote extensively on so many different topics. None of her poems were published during her lifetime. After her death, her poems were published in 1890 posthumously. I Am Nobody, Who Are You? Is a brief poem, is a short poem, very famous, written by Emily Dickinson. Consisting of only 2 quatrains, this poem gives a poignant message of the importance of living ordinarily, without being important, without being famous, without being renowned. Let us first read the poem. I am nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there is a pair of us. Don't tell. They would vanish, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell one's name the livelong day to an admiring bog. This poem is very poignant in the message that it gives to all of us. The simplicity of the common man, who is a nobody, has been emphasized. She wants to know from the reader if the reader is also a nobody. And if the reader is also a nobody, then the reader and the poet make a pair. When the poet asks the reader to tell it silently, don't declare. She advises the reader not to declare that the reader is also a nobody. Because if the reader declares that he is also a nobody, people all around them will come to know about them, and then they may advertise, they may publish that they are together, they are 2 nobodies together. So in a way, they would get a type of recognition or attention that they don't want to get. According to the idea of the poet, to be somebody or to be important is very terrible, it is dreary, it is not at all interesting. It is a type of attack on her privacy. She thinks it is far better to be a nobody than to be a somebody. She compares, using a simile, a person who becomes a somebody with a frog. She says, somebody, if someone becomes a somebody, he is like a frog. When he is telling about his name, his achievement, all around, I am this, I am this, I am somebody, and the people around the frog in the bog find it admirable. According to the poet, this idea of being at the reception of the admiration of people around him is like the admiration that a frog gets from the insignificant creatures living around it in the bog. It is nothing great. The poet does not find any idea of greatness in becoming a somebody. In this poem, the poet employs the techniques of alliteration, simile, satire, and anaphora. In such expressions like, "Then there is a pair of us," we find the use of alliteration. And in such expressions like a frog, we have the employment of simile by the poet. And to tell one's name the livelong day to an admiring bog is an expression full of satire, whereas she is satirizing the people who are interested in getting attention of the public around them. Harold Bloom has a different opinion regarding this poem. According to Bloom, the poet is expressing a universal feeling of being on the outside. She has a different meaning to tell. According to Bloom, it is a poem of a type of protest, where the poet is challenging the authority of somebody. Here we can find a strain of feminism in this poem, where Emily Dickinson is a type of rebel who discards the authority as valueless because those who are in power, have kept the poet and the nobody in the subjugated situation. And so the poet is trying to frame a universal bond among all those who are nobodies, to enjoy their situation and to discard the importance of the authority or those who feel that they are somebody. The poet is also trying to win the readers to her side. The poem is in the form of dialogue between the poet and the reader. So the technique of anaphora, or the repetition of some important words and phrases in the beginnings of the succeeding lines and clauses, have been used, like nobody and somebody. Now come to the rhyme scheme of the poem. I am nobody, who are you? Are you nobody too? Here we find that the first line rhymes with the second line. In the same way, the sixth line and the eighth line rhyme together at the end. How public, like a frog, to tell one's name the livelong day to an admiring bog. Here the words frog and bog at the ends of the lines 6 and 8 rhyme together. But apart from these 4 lines, where we have and rhyme in the last stressed syllables that are called masculine rhymes, in the other parts of the poem we don't find any regular end rhyme. There is internal rhyme in the poem, and The poem as a whole gives a beautiful experience of reading poetry. Thank you.